I'm Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here we talk about true crime and psychology. Thank you so much for joining. Let's hop right into today's topic. Let's go. Welcome. If you are new to this case, I will do an overview. I will not be playing clips of the testimony, but I would recommend checking out the state and defense's opening statements. It gives you an overview of where we believe the case will go. And then also, I would encourage you to check out Arielle's testimony. She is the victim in this case, and I have a lot of thoughts about her testimony. As we're going, please let me know if y'all have comments down in the chat. This is a case where the husband alleged that his wife, Arielle, was having an emotional affair with a coworker. He learned this in December of 2023, and the way, according to her testimony, the way he confronted her about the affair, they went on a couples retreat or trip with some friends, and she gets up and goes to the bathroom, and while she's in the bathroom, he announces to the table that she's having an affair. I have some thoughts. That is incredibly problematic to me because a person would have a few different reasons for doing it that way. Number 1, they're trying to get sympathy from their friends. Number 2, they're trying to shame their partner. And number 3, it could be a smear campaign where this person is trying to ruin and, like, isolate their partner from their friends. And my understanding, the friends that this came up with, and y'all can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, my understanding of the testimony was that the friends that this came up with, the male in that friendship had a history of having affair. And, like, the whole and not like, so Ariel not involved in any of that or anything, but and that's where I'm so confused with why he wouldn't have a one-on-one conversation with his wife. I have never heard of somebody I have heard of somebody sometimes it's their family, sometimes they do this in front of the children, but all of those things are huge, huge red flags, alright? And I thought both her direct testimony and I thought she held up on cross-examination as well. That is incredibly humiliating, and that's why a part of this video now, I'm not alleging that this is what happened in this case, but a lot of Ariel's testimony, it made me yes, she had this friendly way maybe she admitted they were flirty text messages with a coworker, and so they are in Hawaii. They live in they live in Hawaii, and she works remotely. She is a nuclear like, she has a really high pay like, she has a good job where 'cause she explained some of the technical stuff she did, and I didn't understand any of it. And she would have a password, for if her husband was around, she would text this code word so that the coworker would know, like, "Okay, my husband's around, I might not be able to go back and forth as much." To me, it sounded like a work now, her husband has every right to be upset by that. Let me know if my sound is sounding weird. You might have to come out and come back. So, let me know if there's more sound issues or if it is going okay, audio issues. Uh, let's see. Let me know if that fixes it or if that makes it any better. I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's me. I have everything connected the way it's supposed to be. Let me see if yeah, everything's connected the way it's supposed to. Refreshing didn't help. It's a little in and out. Okay, okay. Let me just so give me technical difficulties, give me 1 moment to correct this because I don't want this to cause an issue. Okay. Still a problem, but it's intermittent. So the good thing, my mic isn't muted. I know it's let me just go to the sound on my computer. Like, that's just gonna be the easiest thing. Let me just switch to my bill. Alright. Hopefully this helps it. Let me know in the chat if that helped it. Alright. Ah, uh-oh. Let me know. It's kind of in and out. Hopefully this corrected it. Once again, this case is incredibly troubling to me, and watching the case, it made me just because I do think a part of her husband's concern, a part of it was valid, but in my opinion, it went too far. It sounds like everything went too far. Uh, and so with this case, let me just give you a little bit of background. So Konig is on trial for attempting to unalive his wife, Ariel, and it was her birthday. He's gonna say that she picked Oahu, uh, and um, but the state made it sound like he's the one that made the entire trip himself, and, like, he planned the excursions, he planned everything. The defense is going to claim that on the day of the incident, that he had a plan to go like, they have dinner reservations that day, but it just makes it sound more premeditated to me personally. Now the state has to prove it, okay? So we're all listening, like, we're all paying attention to everything, but it just the fact that he had dinner reservations, that doesn't make it sound like, "Oh, no, nothing bad happened." So her birthday is March 24th. And the day that she testified was March 24th. So they went to this special because they were on I wanna say it was Oahu, me and names, y'all know sometimes me and the details. But it was an island that they had never visited before, and so it was their first time on the island. They live in Maui, and, um, and so with this case, um, so they're going on this hike, and he planned the hike, and while they're hiking up, it starts to get to where they're getting really close to the edge, and, it's getting really rocky, it's getting really difficult to hike, and so Ariel decides to not go up any further, and decides to just stop, and he goes up and is away for a little bit, and then he comes back, and then she alleges that he asked to take a selfie by the edge. And but, like, she's just not comfortable for whatever reason, she's just not comfortable with that. So she's holding on to a tree. Um, and, uh, with that, I apologize that the audio is bad today. Like, let me see, audio. Yeah, I have it on my built-in mic. Okay, good. Some people say the sound is good, good. So she's holding on to a tree ledge, and so in the midst of all of this, uh, she alleges that he said something to the effect of, like, that he curses at her about this affair, and that she really felt he was attempting to push her off. They end up wrestling down to the ground, and while they're on the ground, he pulls something out of his bag, and she admits that she doesn't know exactly what he pulled out of the bag, but it looked like something medical, and so she's sitting here trying to get that away from him. She has the presence of mind to, like, remind him of, like, "Don't like, if you do this, like, you know, you're like, "You're gonna go to jail, I'm not gonna be here anymore, think about our kids." They have 2 young children together, and, and then a child from a previous marriage also lives with them as well. So she's just like, "Your mom just texted me today," something to the effect of, like, "These family and friends, they all love them so much, like, please don't do this." And, so while they're wrestling around, she is like 'cause she admits she's, like, trying to get at him at any way she can, and, that at some point he reaches for a rock and that he starts hitting her over the head with the rock. She alleges it was multiple times, maybe about 10. Now, she doesn't know exactly how many times. The defense is going to talk about the fact that she didn't lose consciousness and that the medical records say that it wasn't life-threatening because he's charged with attempted murder. And so that's where it's like so that's where the defense is like, "Wait a minute, if it there's no skull fracture," the defense is really trying to minimize her injuries, but I think the state is looking at this and they don't think that was his plan A. She's yelling, "Help, help," and there are 2 hikers, one of which just so happens to be an ICU nurse. They hear and they so when they hear somebody yelling, "Help, help," they think somebody has, like, fallen off the cliff or something. So they go to investigate, and one of them sees him hit her over the head. I forgot if the lady said once or if she said twice. The defense is gonna say that he only hit her two times. The the defense in this case is self-defense. Has the I'm gonna say something. He's gonna try to claim that she attacked first and that what he did was just a reaction and was just self-defense. So I do believe he's gonna have to testify. And, ooh, I probably will react to parts of his testimony if he does testify, because first of all, I think he's gonna try to make himself the victim about the affair. Because even with Ariel's testimony, she said he considered it to be an affair. She considered it to be, flirty text messages with a coworker, and it was to the point she did delete some of the messages. So but the messages the defense showed her, it was like, "Good morning," um, and the poor guy, oh, Jeremy Miller, poor Jeremy Miller, and so the coworker is married, and they showed his face. They showed Jeremy Miller they showed multiple pictures of Jeremy Miller and I think Jeremy Miller's family member's dog, like, I don't know. Because the defense is trying to be like, "Ooh, he's sending you these kissy faces," but to me, that picture looked like a pouty face, like, it didn't look like kissy face. That picture didn't look it's just him and the dog, and he's it looked like a pouty face. It didn't look like a kissy face. It reminded me of the Corey Richins trial where the defense was trying to make Eric and his friend, like, he was they were trying to make it this affair, and it just wasn't. And so some things are definitely subjective, and I do think Garrett, like, did not like the messages. He actually asked her to quit her job. He asked her to, like he never wanted her to have any communication with him ever, and I think she was a little like, it got to about 2, 3 months in, and she was kinda like 'cause I think her coworker, they might have to collaborate on certain projects, and so she was trying to be mindful. They were in therapy. Yeah, his face was matching the dog's. Like, it looked like a pouty face. Like, it didn't look sexual to me. Like, it didn't look like I don't know, like, it didn't look that way to me. And so, but the defense, I think, is trying to ruin her credibility because when she was asked about the alleged affair, so when the police asked her, "What's up with you and Jeremy Miller? Were you having an affair?" She said, "No." But from her perspective, it was just flirty text. So that's why from her perspective, she's like, "No, I didn't have an affair," but her husband did consider it to be an affair, and so they were treating it that way, and she was trying to be mindful. There were some weird things, in her testimony about him demanding intimacy from her. I think it was every other day. Was it every other day? It was on a certain frequency. I don't know. And Um, I think that mm, I'm gonna take another drink on that one. Now, when people are trying to recover after an affair, so that can just That just feels icky. That just it feels like too much. Like, um, because also, what if a part of the reason why she was seeking attention and flirting with this other guy, maybe there's a problem within their relationship that they need to address. Maybe there's something that they need to work on, and, that part just felt a little ugh to me, and that's what brought up the idea of post-infidelity harm. And so I use harm because, uh, YouTube does not like the stronger word for that, but in affair recovery, some red flags to look out for are things like belittling. Belittling is a form of contempt for one's partner where they literally start seeing them with contempt and disgust. As the term suggests, through words, actions, attitude, the harmful partner sends the message, be little. It is ultimately an extreme form of pride that gives the message, "I'm better than you." And that's what his defense is getting off on, like, "I think I think I'm better than you." Like, it's weird. Does anyone know how during Ariel's testimony, she has custody of all of the children because, Garrett is incarcerated right now. He's he's being held until the end of this trial. He There was so much contempt for her, and it came out, and I think when he takes the stand, I think it's gonna come out even more, uh, and so controlling, this one is tricky because now it's different, so if there has been an affair, then sometimes you do let the person monitor your phone, you let them check your messages, 'cause you're trying to repair trust, but the whole thing of, like, the only way I'm gonna be comfortable with this is if you quit this job, and it was gonna be hard for her to find another job like the one she had, especially with it being remote. Like, it wasn't like she had a common job. I forgot to mention the fact that he's an anesthesiologist and that some of the things that they found in one of his work bags, now, correct me if I'm wrong, the work bag they found the propofol in, like a generic form of propofol, that bag was home, but I'm wondering why he had those strong I don't, and I'm not an anesthesiologist. I don't know what you keep in your bag. Some people in the chat, so I was watching this with JD Explains, and he was explaining what all the different medical supplies were in the bag that they found, because she found a medical bag at the house. They never recovered the alleged syringe or whatever he was trying to do. They never recovered her phone or her purse. They're probably thinking he threw it over the side. I don't know. They don't know what happened. It's also alleged that Garrett called his 19-year-old son and, pretty much s and that's where I'm waiting to hear that testimony because the defense is gonna say that the son heard the dad talk about the incident on the cliff and that the son assumed that Garrett tried to kill her. But so that's where I'm just interested to see what the son actually says. Really, really interested to see that. Welcome to the membership. Um, and so I think his employer, and also I don't know how he got the medications that he had. So he was an anesthesiologist, and propofol is the type of medication that anesthesiologists give. I don't think they just keep it in a bag at home. 'Cause I think it's normally kept in, like, I think it's kept a certain way. I don't think it's normally just, like, in a bag at home. So, okay. I do think he has to testify because he's claiming self-defense. He's claiming that she attacked him first, and this was his response, but the DNA expert because, they showed a picture, like, he did have, like, a bloody face, but it's my understanding that when they tested his shirt, when they tested the blood, it was all just hers. So And she looked so if you do watch the trial, they do show very graphic pictures of her, and, they do show, body camera footage of when the officers, found her. The defense lawyer, you're gonna get a little agitated with him because 'cause he tries to be like, "Well, she walked down the hill, like, he tries to minimize things. He's just doing his job. I hope the jury is just paying attention. But, yeah, I thought you weren't supposed to take those things out of the hospital. That's what sounds more correct to me. So, alright. So we talked about belittling, we talked about control, and then, constant criticism or put downs, excessive blaming, name calling, coercing and threatening, withholding or abandoning. Those are forms of emotional harm that can happen, like, where the betrayed spouse can sometimes want the person that they feel betrayed by to hurt as much as they are, and that is problematic because nothing will ever be enough. So, their hurt and pain is valid, and, like, if it's that bad, you leave. Not so if you saw the pictures, it was not lightly. She needed surgery to, like to, plastic surgery, and, like, the doctor so she still has a scar on her forehead and on her scalp. So it was not lightly. It was pretty significant, but his team is trying to minimize it because in the medical records so she didn't lose consciousness. She likely had a little bit of a concussion. Um, that it's likely considered a head trauma, but, um she didn't have, like, a fracture, like, he didn't break her face or anything so the defense is trying to minimize it, like, how is this attempted redrum, and but, like, what if plan A was to throw her off the cliff, and then plan B was to inject something, and now at plan C, we have a rock, like, eh, the rock was not plan I don't think, based on what I've seen and based on what I've watched. So, I do have a link to, an article that talks about signs that, harmful behaviors might be in your relationship. I do have a link to that down in the description. And then I also wanted to talk about coming back together after betrayal, that it really can be difficult to reconcile, and both people have to be willing to, like, "Are we gonna try to make this work?" So I have said multiple times, and my husband knows, I know, so I'm not the type of person that can if he went out and was with somebody else, alimony and child support, like that's but, like, I'm not gonna end up in jail, like, nothing I'm not gonna attack the person, I'm not gonna attack him, it's just alimony and child support. Like, that is what it is. I'm not the type of person that's gonna we nah, like, that's one of my non-negotiables. I work with people like, couples where I'm working with a spouse that was either cheated on or they were the ones that were caught, and, I've also worked with people that haven't been caught yet, and if they're in a closed relationship, as their therapist, I encourage them to either end the relationship 'cause this could get messy. Like, as your therapist, I'm not gonna support, like, cheating on your spouse like that there's a part of that that's unhealthy. Like, you need to either, have an open relationship or, like, you need to let go of the person on the side. That's just that's my personal philosophy, and I'm pretty and their decision is theirs. Like, they don't they like, I wouldn't say I refuse to work with somebody that continued having something on the side, but I tell them, like, there are consequences to this. Like, just be prepared for any, like, consequences of things. And I write my notes in a way, so I never wanna know who it is 'cause don't include me in any divorce proceeding. I don't wanna know none of that. I don't write down any of the details. I write it down, client is not making good decisions, struggling with some impulse control and telling I don't know, like, I write it up in a way, where if I don't know, but And just depending on the situation. Now, if their spouse knows about what happened, then sometimes my note might look a little different. I still don't include the person's details or any of that. Um, and so but if people are going to work it out, you have to be willing to, like, how do we move forward? And the way you move forward, you might not be able to control, "Okay, you have to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this in order to make me okay." Because the person could do all those things, and you still might not be okay. It might be my internet connection, it could be. Uh, Let me know if the sound is still bad. Hopefully things are fine. I'm hardwired to my so hopefully everything's okay, but sometimes things are weird. Hopefully today's stream, technology. Ooh. So, not every relationship should be reconciled, and if people reconcile, that's great. You know, like, I've had clients make it work, but it's both people deciding to make it work and going with a new understanding, awareness, compassion, empathy, and both people working to respect one another, growing, and kind of moving forward through the situation. For the betrayed partner, they're not just feeling hurt and angry. Sometimes they can literally have, like, hypervigilance, paranoia, intrusive thoughts, emotional flooding, physical symptoms similar to, like, trauma. So they'll talk about betrayal trauma, or they'll talk about post-infidelity, 'cause they call it PISD. So, I guess post-infidelity stress disorder, not an official, so that's not a DSM-5 thing, but people that do this work have talked about some of the trauma symptoms that somebody might, display after something like this. None of this explains what somebody did, okay? I'm just here to help us understand. I'm just here to help us, like, how could something like this happen, and, to kind of make, better understand this. It's not being dramatic, like, it is a trauma response, and the nervous system has to be rewired, because that deception and all of that can, like, really impact a person, and the healing takes time, support, and consistent safety, but I look for safety for both people, because sometimes the betrayed partner wants to feel safe, but they might be making the betraying partner, the person that had the affair, it might be making them, like, because I don't want the person that's been betrayed, you don't have the right to now be harmful towards your partner if you're gonna make it work. Like, that's not healthy. The betraying partner can often carry a lot of shame, fear that they'll never be forgiven, grief for, for what's happened in the relationship, confusion about why they made the decisions that they made, and, so that's where often both people need their own individual therapy. So, yes, if they're gonna work on the marriage together, that can often be but, like, but you have to also both in the people have to get their own therapy too. Alright. And then I do sometimes think that, um, when men get betrayed so I think Garrett thought, "I'm this anesthesiologist, we're living in this $1.5 million home." He might have been thinking, "She has this perfect life. Who would ever cheat on me? Who would ever do this to me? Why would you do this to me?" Like, it can get a little, like, eh, a little self-centered a little. Um, I've seen words about a very big ego for him thrown out there a lot, where there might be this huge ego, but not much to actually, like, back it up. Now, he was making really good money. Ooh, and Aries did move 100 over $100,000 after he was arrested, before she filed for divorce, knowing that once she filed for divorce, those funds would likely be, frozen, but I wouldn't have held that against her. Dude tried to push you off a cliff, and you went into the joint account. Now she didn't, she opened up a personal account and moved, like, over $100,000. The that that happened. I guess she paid back her parents. They had taken a big loan from her parents, and so she paid that back. She paid the mortgage. Their mortgage is $8,000 a month. So when somebody said it's like a one it's over $1,000,000 house, the $8,000 mortgage, I was like, "Whew, that is a lot." And so she was trying to make sure that the kids would be okay, she would be okay. I wouldn't have held it against her. I wouldn't have. Ooh, as a former divorce attorney, I often counseled clients of the danger of moving monies and accounts. Yes. And so she definitely did face some danger with that. I hope the sound got better for you. If it didn't, hopefully it did. Uh, yes, yes, yes. Alright, it is what it is. Um, I will definitely be following this case. I will be taking a look at it again. I thought Arielle came off incredibly credible. So I thought she did a great job on direct examination. You could really tell, like, and she testified on her birthday. On her birthday, she she testified. And, with that testimony, I wonder if she asked or if the state thought it might be impactful for her to give that testimony. A lot of people have talked about, like, the strength that she showed because she faced him and she said it. Um, so moving the money was after. So moving the money was when he got arrested for trying to throw her off a cliff. Yeah. So they lived in Maui, they were visiting Oahu, if I'm remembering correctly. Alright? Yeah. So they lived in Maui. Thank you for answering that in the chat. Y'all are the best. And so I also thought that once again, the defense tried to attack her credibility. I don't think it was effective. I'm interested to see what he says because I think what she says goes along with the of course, the evidence the state has presented so far. The defense, tries to poke holes, but the holes the defense pokes is like it wasn't that bad. They tried to minimize it. Yes, yes. The attack happened on her birthday, March 24th, and she testified on March 24th. So, yes, yes, yes. Um, and I wanna say thank you to Sarah for being a member for 22 months and also for gifting a membership. Thanks again, Nate, for becoming a member, and then also thank you to Juicy Chick 33 for becoming a member as well. I do have a plan to do a members only next week because I wanna do one for March before the end of the month. I try to make all of my trial coverage available to everybody, and members only is just chats, and so yes, 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 yes. Some of the behind the scenes, random questions, random travel discussions, a lot more squirrely. I jump around a lot. Yes. And so, because I think there was probably more money than the money she moved, but that was all sh I think she paid, like, his credit card bill. No, they tried to make it a big deal. So the guy I'm talking about is the anesthesiologist. Maybe you're talking in the chat to somebody else. So this guy, so Gerhardt Konig is a anesthesiologist. Maybe y'all are going back and forth about a different case. Whew. Difficult case. Some of the so I watched yesterday's testimony. It was the DNA expert. It's good testimony. It just took a long time to go through everything and get everything in. It's also the trial comes out of Hawaii, so it starts about 3:30 PM Eastern, and then it goes late into the night. And so, I've been staying up to date with all of that. Let me know if you have any general questions about this case. Um, I have my in-laws downstairs, if y'all can hear my kiddo, y'all probably can't hear him in the background. My kiddo is playing with grandma and grandpa downstairs. Um, and I will be streaming next Saturday. That is the plan. I don't think I have anything planned, but yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so, my heart goes out to I'm glad Ariel survived, and really, I didn't finish the part about the nurses that heard her yelling, "Help, help." They did not approach her, and when Garrett saw so Ariel's testimony was when they came up, he stopped, and he just kind of and she was able to crawl away, and, those individuals called for help. And they were really smart to, like, because I think they didn't know what was happening, and they were trying to make sure that they stayed safe as well. Um, I saw a question about any issues in their relationship or, like, was this predatory type behavior? I think my personal thought is he never recovered from the affair. Because even the things his defense lawyer is like, You sent a smiley face emoji? You're texting on a Sunday?" The defense lawyer is trying to make a big deal about stuff, and I'm just like, "I don't" I'm reading the messages. Now, if that was my spouse having these flirty conversations with somebody else, I would have some thoughts but I wouldn't, like, try to push him off a cliff. Like, that's not the type of person. Um Somebody hit on me yesterday at a gas station, and it can kind of so I don't know if, like, Ariel liked the attention this coworker was giving her, do you know what I mean? But, like, she just thought it was flirty, and it sounded like a work cousin. It sounded like they chatted about their day. They talked about like, she, I think, talked about putting up her Christmas tree. Like, it wasn't like, "What are you wearing?" It wasn't anything sexual. Now she did delete messages, okay? But yeah, somebody hit on me yesterday at the gas station, and I'm like, "So I'm not wearing my ring right now." I normally sometimes I don't. I did have it on that day, and this guy is just yelling at me from the car, and I'm just trying to well, my gas is $3.96. Like, ugh, and so I finished and so I was just like I was polite, but I wasn't flirtatious, and then I did tell my husband, I was like, "Hey, some guy was hitting on me." I do have some male friends that sometimes DM me on Facebook Messenger, or they might send me a text message. Anytime that happens, I always just let my 'cause so a lot of these friends, these male friends, they're married, they have kids, and when they message me like, "Hey, how you doing?" I always ask them like, "We're good. How are you and the kids? How are you and your wife?" Like, like, I don't know, like and then I always and it's not that I have to let my husband know, just out of respect for our relationship, I let him know, and so, do you think that the father who took his kids on the dangerous hike in Utah, uh, uh, eh, and I th those situations are just so different. I think that father was mad at his I think the mother of those children didn't he find out about an affair? He did. This is another affair one. Oh, yeah. That's where I'm gonna raise my son like, "Hey, if somebody doesn't wanna be with you, like, let them go. If somebody cheats on you and if that's a deal breaker, like, don't try to hurt somebody or somebody else." Yeah, Ali Abulaband, they were separated, and he was mad because some guy because he was trying to catch her in the act of something, and they were actually and he was physically like, he was all kinds of anger management. He was on the stand, he came across scary. I don't think Gerhard is gonna come across scary. I think he's going to try to make himself the victim and make himself the, like, "Feel sorry for me." Darvo might come up, the deny, it's deny attack? So it's attack the other person, reverse victim and offender. We might see something like that. I'm so sorry that yours are $5. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna appreciate what I have right now. Thank you. And, To me, it makes it scarier when somebody does all of it sober versus Ali Abulabon, like, he was using, like, the nose snow to, like, I don't know. Yeah, and he wanted to be a gangster. He, uh, I don't know. He's a whole other case study. I do have videos on, Ali Abulabon, if you want to check out my thoughts on that. My favorite part of Ali Abulabon, when he was on the stand, he was asked a question that he didn't like, and he asked the judge, he was like, "Do I have to answer that?" And the judge was like, "Sir, you have to answer questions. You never should have got on the stand." It was it was a lot. But, I think Ariel did a great job. We will see. I don't know how long this trial is slated for. Sounds like, the the defense is due like, they are trying, because they initially tried to get it thrown out because they didn't believe the attempted redrum charge. Like, they're like, "But he just hit her with a rock a few times." Like, her life wasn't like, they really tried to minimize that part, but, I don't think that was plan A. That's my general thought. We will see what the jury decides. My heart goes out to the children. The children are sometimes the ones caught in the middle. So, it'll probably come up during his testimony that after all of this, that, Garrett he wanted to harm himself. He did not. He thought about throwing himself over the cliff. He did not. They ended up finding him, like, 6 hours later in the bushes or something, like, one of the officers, like, found him, ran after him. The officer that ran after him, I was, uh hopefully it won't that that officer caught him, and I was really proud, like, that was decent. That was decent testimony. 'Cause the officer looked like a big guy, and the officer talked about falling on top of Garrett, and Garrett looked small, and this officer did not look small, and that probably hurt a little bit. But yeah, I am so happy she survived. She has her kids. The defense is making it sound like she's doing all of this to help her divorce, that, she wants his retirement, and she's on the stand like, "Hey, if he goes to jail, he's not gonna be able to pay child support, so I want part of his retirement." I'm okay with that. Like, she's 'cause I guess as a part of their divorce proceedings, she's trying to go after his, like, 401k or something, but it's like, "Hey, if he's gonna be incarcerated, he's not gonna be able to pay child support." I would be prepared. It's my understanding that the son's testimony, because I think Garrett's the son is probably 20 years old now, but his adult son is going to testify, I believe, and, um, because the state said in their opening that Gerhard, I might be saying his name wrong, Gerhard, I don't know, that he called his son and said that he just tried to push her off a cliff, and the defense is gonna say he heard it wrong, and that's not what was said. I'm interested to see how that stands up on with cross-examination and everything. I'm considering covering the Afro Man case with, uh Paul. Paul reached out about us doing a collab sometime this week, so this coming week. And so Paul and I don't think we confirmed a date yet, but Paul and I might be getting together either on Tuesday or Thursday. I will share, y'all will see it whenever it happens. Thank you for adding this, that Hawaii anesthesiologists make around $400,000 a year annually. Alright, so it's a lot. And she was a nuclear like, I think she probably made at least 6 figures, I would think, with the job title she had, or like 8 I think she made decent money too, but she wasn't gonna be able to pay 8,000 a month with just what she brought in. So, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. I did watch Defense Diaries has an interview with Afroman's lawyer. I watched that earlier today. I listened to it earlier today while we were at the grocery store, and, and they also had a juror on too that gave her perspective. I thought that was really good. Multiple people, as I think, a few different people have shared clips from that, but I watched the whole thing over on Defense Diaries, and that was interesting. Um, I had, banana cheesecake with lunch today. I probably need to get some lemon pound cake. I probably wanna get some lemon pound cake. But yeah, I do have a little bit of that banana cheesecake left. My in-laws brought Cheesecake Factory. Mhm, they are the best. And yes. Um, oh, wow. So you mentioned being in Connecticut. Our minimum wage is higher than Hawaii. Oh, wow. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna go hang out with my family. We are gonna watch because we haven't seen Zootopia 2 yet, so we plan on watching that tomorrow. We are gonna go to the movies. One of our traditions that happened accidentally, we're gonna go Easter, people normally don't go to the movies. Our church has, like, a really early service, and so we're gonna and we stream. Our church is too packed to go in person, so we're gonna go to the movies next Sunday to see the Mario movie. My kiddo's really excited. He's on spring break next week. Now you want cheesecake, my bad. Ah. But I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I will see y'all next time. Have a good one. Bye.